Hi, my name is George Berg. I'm an obstacle course racer. I wasn't always an obstacle course racer. Last May 2011, I was 230 pounds. I was at work. I was walking by a scale. I stepped on the scale and realized that I was, holy cow, 230 pounds. How did this happen? The next day, I started running again. This is the story behind my life. I was a great runner in high school. I led my high school team to their first ever CIF Golden League Championship in California. I shattered all of my high school records. I ran sub 15 minutes for 5K. I was on the high school Olympic team. I represented our country and went to Canton, China, Japan, and raced in South Korea. I took 9th place out of 20,000 runners in '86 and '87. I had a good high school track season. I went on to run for Antelope Valley College. In 1988, I qualified for the Olympic trials in the steeplechase. I didn't make the team, but the trials taught me that I needed to train harder. I had a good college career, but it was followed by lots of injuries and overtraining. So we moved forward a little bit, and later on in life, you get married, you go to work, you get a job, house payment, bills. You still have this dream that you're going to be able to, make it to the Olympics one day. I'm 30 years old. I'm having a good year. I won 12 races in a row. This is 1998. I had qualified and was seated in the New York City Marathon, seated 150th. They only seed the top 150 runners in the marathon, so I was very honored to grab the last seated spot. My hero, Bill Rogers, the Olympian, he signed it for me. 2 weeks before the race, prone to my history, I was running, and I tore my plantar fascia severely. It needed surgery, but I was going to wait. So I still went to the New York City Marathon 2 weeks later. I ran the New York City Marathon. I hobbled in 2 hours and 52 minutes, but our motto was, if you can finish it, finish it. Don't quit. We don't quit. I had surgery. We fixed it. 5 months later, I was running faster than I had ran in my life. I was one last chance to qualify for the Olympic trials. I went to the USA Championships, or had signed up for the USA Championships in Pittsburgh. I had won 6 races in a row. I was in very good shape. Me and my brother John, we were going up to Pittsburgh. We got had just left the Virginia state line when my beeper went off. That's how old I am. My beeper went off, and made a phone call that my wife was in labor and I had to return immediately. I barely made it back to the hospital. So my son Ryan was born on the day that I was supposed to try to, run the U.S. Championships and try to qualify for the Olympics. So there was another missed opportunity. So I kind of gave up a little bit. Things were never going my way, injuries, and then when I was in shape, something always popped up that wasn't the correct way. But so a couple of years later go by, I'm running races just for the fun of it, just trying to stay in shape, nothing big. Then my father was running in 2003. In February 2003, he had just finished a 10-mile run. He passed away. My sons were 3 and 5 years old. They were crying. They were very devastated with my father's passing. They thought that running had killed my dad, so they asked me to completely stop. So now it's bringing us to this point because I listened to my sons. I didn't want to upset them, so I stopped running. I hadn't run for 9 years until May of 2011, and that's probably what went from 155 pounds to 230 pounds. I ran my first race in June of 2011. I took 10th place overall. I really got hooked again. I started dropping the weight. I dropped 45 pounds in the first 35 days. I ran another race, but talking about obstacle course racing, one of my friends who's a professional baseball player came into my office. He was visiting, making a sales call, and he asked me to pull up the Tough Mudder. I'd never heard of obstacle course racing. I'd never heard of the Tough Mudder. I picked up my internet, boom, 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 popped it up, and watched a bunch of YouTube videos of people running through wires, people balancing on beams, climbing walls, and my first impression was, is this really a sport? This looks like something you guys just do for fun. And he said, George, I really want to do this. And I said, well, you're Paul, you were a professional pitcher. You ran from the pitcher's mound to first base for 10 years. You never ran, you know, further than 50 feet. He goes, I do, George, I know, I really want to do this. I said, okay, I'll do it with you. And so he knew that I had started running again, and so we were training. So we signed up for the Tough Mudder in Wintergreen Ski Resort in October of 2011. Very interesting story. We get there, the gun's getting ready to go off, they're making the announcement. My friend Paul looks at me and says, George, I really haven't been training at all. And he goes, I know you're running and you've lost 50 pounds. He goes, why don't you just go? He goes, don't worry about me, I haven't been running at all. And I said, are you sure? He goes, yeah, go ahead, just take off. And so when the gun went off, something inside of me made, it was like I was a kid again. I was like, I took off running. I passed 4,000, 5,000 people in my heat, I guess. And I got done running, and with my time, the announcer goes, hey, whatever my number was, he goes, you just qualified for the World Championships. And I was like, there's a World Championship in this? He goes, yes, there is. It's in December. And I was like, okay. And I thought it was just, you know, something very interesting, very funny. So I had won a couple of road races, and I decided to go ahead and enter the World Tough Mudder in December. I did that. After 2 laps of the world's toughest mudder, it was very brutally cold, 20-something degrees. 600 people dropped out of the first 1,000, the first lap. After 2 laps, I was in 25th place behind the world champion, Pack. And I ended up falling on an obstacle. I broke 4 ribs, so we decided to pull myself out. But knowing that I was in 25th place behind Pack at 43 years old, I was very encouraged that this was something that I should do. So I trained extremely hard in 2012, beginning 2012. I've had exceptional races this year. I've won 6 races as the master in 5Ks and 10Ks. I won the Primal Mud Run, which was 6 miles in obstacles. I won the MS Muckus Ruckus North Carolina Championship Mud Run in the Elite Division. I'm currently the North Carolina USA Track and Field State Champion, as well as the Regional Champion in the 10,000 meters, the 5,000 meters, the 3,000 meter steeplechase. I also, in that track event for the USA Track and Field, I took 2nd in the long jump, 3rd in the high jump, and 2nd in the 800, all in less than 24 hours. My obstacle course racing has taught me to where there's no barriers. So if I could do all of that in 24 hours and win all those USA Track Championships, is very important. It's showing me that I know what to do. I also took 26th place at the USA Track and Field Nationals Mountain Runs 4 weeks ago, and that wasn't in the Masters division. That was in the Open division, so I took 26th place, followed by the Tough Mudder. So I took 2nd place overall in the Mid-Atlantic Tough Mudder 3 weeks ago. There was 12,000 people entered in that. I took 2nd place overall out of the 12 miles in the very first heat, the 8 o'clock heat. I felt so good that I put a dress on, like Pac did, and I did it again. Very much enjoyed myself helping out other people after I had participated as a competitive athlete. A week later, pretty sore, I took 3rd place in the USA Track and Field North Carolina State Mile Championships. And so it's very interesting to where I didn't run for 9 years. I come back after realizing that I was 230 pounds and I shouldn't have been doing this to myself. And now I'm back in shape. I'm racing like I did when I was 30 years old. I've won some prize money, and I'm having a really good time. And I'm going to do a couple of obstacles, and hope that you guys appreciate it. I would really like a chance or an opportunity to be the, you know, the underdog, or the old guy in the pack that has a chance to upset somebody, or just the chance to compete would be incredible for me. I'm a father of 4. I have a daughter who's 22, a son that's 16, a son that's 13, and over here behind the playground somewhere, there's a 3.5-year-old named Bailey, and he's like my ultimate little Mudder fan. So thank you very much for listening, and I'm going to do a couple of laps and see if my wife can catch everything on video. and that's what I do on a regular basis. Thank you.